Is it recording? It is. Hi, my name is Jacqui Preugschat, author of Tessa's Books of Elegance, and welcome to Word on the Street, where I interview authors about their creative works. Today I'm interviewing Sally Eberhardt, and Sally is an author, copywriter, speaker, and also a mentor. Sally believes in the magic of words and helps introverts uncover their superpowers so they can enjoy the many opportunities brought about by good networking through her book, Pain-Free Networking for Introverts. There it is there. Awesome. Thank you. Welcome, Sally.
Thanks, Jacqui. It's lovely to talk with you today.
Thank you. So I just find this so interesting, being an introvert and you know, you've written a book on networking, and I just think what an amazing, you know, concept and idea to put into a book for introverts.
Thank you. I think I wrote the book that I would have loved to have found and read when I first started networking, because I didn't even realize I was an introvert. And it wasn't until I even had that definition that it was suddenly okay to be me, and it was okay to feel the things that I did. And here are some tips and tools for uncovering the superpowers of being an introvert, and actually finding that those superpowers can make you a great networker. So I wanted to document my journey of going from being absolutely terrified, but knowing that I had to network for business, to being much more confident and actually enjoying it, and even reframing what networking is all about. That it's not about prospecting or sales, it's about building relationships. And so the book's 5 chapters of mindset, first up, just to reframe everything, take the scariness out, give introverts confidence that they can actually do this and be really great at it. And the rest is an A to Z of good networking practice so that you know what to do.
Wonderful. So it sounds like it's also a book for someone who isn't an introvert. It's got good sales tips in it as well, as far as networking. Is that correct?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's like I said, yeah, the last 7 chapters, they do take into account how introverts feel, but they are very much just good networking practice of what to do before you network, where to network, what to do when you're there, how to follow up, you know, finding a CRM, just everything about networking.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Sounds really, really useful and helpful to a lot of people. So your book's like a go-to of where to start as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
So when did you first start writing this book?
Oh, goodness me. I think I started writing it about 4 or 5 years ago, and it took about 18 months to write.
Right. And so you thought, that's it. This other people need to hear, you know, my story about being an introvert as well, and you got it out there. Is that the idea behind it? Or
look, a little bit. I wanted to write a book, and I had to really dig deep and think about, okay, so you haven't climbed Mount Everest. Okay, there are all these things that I hadn't done. I hadn't run a multi-million-dollar business, and I had to think about, okay, what have I actually done? What journey have I taken that will be of value to others, that will help others? And I realized that my networking journey had come so far, and all the good things in my life have come from networking. The great opportunities, great friendships, wonderful, wonderful things have come from networking. I don't want introverts to miss out because they're too shy to network, or because you're too scared. So excellent. I realized I've come so far myself.
So what research did you do? Was it just based on, you know, you personally, or did you do other research as well?
Definitely did other research, often to just make sure that I was on track, and also to build the tools and things like that. So yeah, Mr. Google, very much my friend.
Right.
And
okay.
Yeah, but all the research, it's in the bibliography.
Oh, okay.
And the science is there.
Yeah, that's good. So when people read your book, are there like exercises for them to undertake and little tasks for them to do?
Yes, I even ask them to sign something right at the start to say that they will do the reflections and the actions. So the reflection is finding out what in that particular chapter really resonated with you. You know, what was your biggest learning? And the action is, yeah, the doing. Because seriously, if people aren't going to take on board and get out there and network and use the tips and things, they may as well use it as toilet paper.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
I want to make a difference.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so what feedback have you received?
I've had really positive feedback. I think my favorite story would be a gentleman who contacted me on LinkedIn, and he said, I just had to contact you. I found your book in a library in Adelaide. And I'm going, I didn't even know I had a book in a library in Adelaide. But anyway, that was really, really cool for a start.
Yeah.
And he said, I just picked it up on a whim. I was reading chapter 5, and it was telling me that it's okay to be me. He said, I really needed to hear that right now. You know, my girlfriend's an extrovert and she was criticizing me for being an introvert. I just really needed that message. So thank you. And I was so touched, because if there's one thing I would really love people to get out of it, it is that it's okay to be them. You know, the networking, you know, that's all great and it will take them a long way. But until you are actually happy with who you are, it's really hard to achieve anything.
Yeah. So just be yourself.
Yeah, be yourself. Yeah. Let people know you so they can love you.
Yeah, exactly. That's excellent. And so if you have received any criticism, how do you handle criticism about your book?
Look, I take it constructively. I think you look at where it comes from and see what the motivation is. And quite often it's, you know, just something of their own personal thing there. I think the only area I can remember criticism for is probably from psychologists who don't believe there are ambiverts. So they sort of say, no, you're an introvert or an extrovert. There's nothing in between. And I think, you know, we just have to sort of go, well, we've got differing opinions about that. So I don't let it get me down. Yeah. You know, I know it's a well-written book. I know I have the best of intentions with it. I don't really let anything like that worry me. So
yeah. That's wonderful. And so what was it like when you first held your book? Because I remember what it was like for me when I first held my book, and I was just like, oh, I love it. I love it so much. And my name was on there. I was so proud of it that it was just, you know, everything that I'd worked on was in a book that people can actually buy. So what was it like for you when you first held your book?
It's pretty exciting to have that physical manifestation. You know, it is there. It's actually there. It's not a book until it's in print, you know, until it's in your hands. Yeah. You know, I know there are ebooks and that kind of thing, but it doesn't feel real until you can actually physically feel it.
Right. Yeah,
so, yeah,
that's true. Exciting. Yeah. And so personally, what does success mean to you?
Oh, see, to me, success is living according to your values. So, you know, I have really high values of gratitude and kindness, and I've found that I've distilled that into my networking message of getting people to connect with kindness and follow up with gratitude. Because not only does it take all the ick factor out of networking, it's a really lovely way to build relationships. And for those of you, quite people sometimes, usually men, I must admit, will say, oh, so what's your return on investment for networking? And, you know, it doesn't really fly with them when you say, oh, I measure my ROI in joy. You know, you actually have to have something a little bit more concrete. But I have had so many opportunities. I get so many referrals, just wonderful business things that come my way. I freelance. I make a living from writing without ever advertising. It's all word of mouth. And I don't think there's all that many people that can say that. So
that's wonderful.
It works for me, and I just love to share that it works. That positiveness, that kindness, that gratitude.
Yeah, I think people can tell when other people are just in it for the money, or they want them for the money, and then goodbye. I don't want to have anything else to do with you. They're not interested in relationship, which I just think I'm not into either. I'm into relationships and connections and long-lasting ones, not just you bought my book.
That's why I love you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been so excellent meeting with you. So, you know, when also at Wild Readings, you invited me to that, and I heard you share some of your writing there, and historical fiction, I think it was. And yeah, it's just looking forward to the future with you as well. Yeah. So, so is your book available as an ebook or as an audio book?
It is. Yes, it is. It's available as an ebook on Amazon, and it is available in print copies about the place, but I think probably the best and cheapest place to get the print copy is on my own website, just sallyeberhardt.com. Yeah, that way you can get a signed copy.
Yeah, oh, okay. Lovely, excellent. So what projects are you working on at the moment that you can share about?
Oh, goodness. I have a few up my sleeve. I'm loving writing some fiction for a change. I still blog and do articles and things, but I'm really enjoying doing fast fiction, especially short stories. And there will be an anthology in the wings that I am building
Wonderful.
towards, and I just love it.
That's excellent. Yeah. And I think you're presenting, is it a seminar on blogs, writing blogs?
I am. I'm presenting at Ocean Network. Blogging breakdown. So all the reasons why we should blog, because I think without a really strong why, there's not the incentive to do it. So I'll be going through all the reasons why we should blog, and then how to make it easier, and what to blog about. So looking forward to that.
Yeah,
sharing that knowledge.
And so do you have any other creative areas that you want to branch out into as well, or is this probably enough for you at the minute?
I do say, if it's words, I'm your woman.
Right.
I do write about just about anything. I have a few book coaching clients, book writing coaching clients, and I love working with them and nurturing them to bring their book to life. I found that structure was just structure just comes to me naturally for book writing. And I think a lot of people, especially with nonfiction, they struggle with that structure of what do you put, where do you put it, what's in chapter 1, blah, blah, blah. And I sort of go, well, what journey do you want to take your readers on? Let's do it as a journey. So I just found that there were just things that came naturally to me that started really, it doesn't come naturally to everyone. I can really, really help with that, and it'll make such a difference.
Fantastic. So I know you mentioned your website, but if you could mention it again, because that's where to find you and where people can also hire you for other, like you just said, for help in that area as well as your book. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So it's just my name, sallyeberhardt.com. So it's SALLYE, B for Bob, ERHARD, D for Damien, T for Tom.com.
Wonderful. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today. It's been really lovely to see you and have a chat with you. And we'll talk soon.
Oh, absolute pleasure to see you as always, Jacqui.
Thanks, Sally. Thank you.